getting closer. You see the numbers. We're getting much closer to getting our country back to the way it was.
President Trump taking an optimistic tone. His aides holding intensive discussions on a plan to reopen the economy with Big Bang in May.
We could do it in phases. We can go to some areas, which you know, some areas are much less affected than others. We know now for sure that the mitigation that we have been doing is having a positive effect, but you don't see it until weeks later.
The point of social distancing is to flatten the curve, is to delay the number of people who get the virus. It may be the same number of people who end up getting the virus in the long run, but to delay it long enough so that the health system is able to deal with those people who need the most intensive care for the virus. The way social distancing works means that we're probably not going to see the real impacts for maybe a couple of weeks. And that's because this virus incubates within the people who get it for up to 14 days. So that means that if you start social distancing today, we might not see a case curve bending downward for up to 2 weeks. That doesn't mean it's not working. That doesn't mean it's not important to continue the social distancing efforts. It means that it just takes a little while for the results to show. We've seen those results in South Korea. We've seen those results in places like Singapore and Taiwan, and even now a little bit in places like Italy, some of the hardest hit areas of Europe where the curve is starting to bend downwards.
Well, I think it's really helpful to look at bright spots. And if you look at the state of Washington, which was really tragically hit hard and early, they really took action to really kind of shut down the city and really hold, and the public really, I think, has been doing their part to maintain their role in social distancing. And you start to see the idea that you kind of are starting to see a slowdown in the growth of the virus. And a city that's deeply close to my heart, New York City, the center of the national growth in cases, it really looks like all the measures and the work that the city has been putting into maintaining social distancing is starting to work. One thing that comes up pretty regularly is there a trade-off between economic well-being of a community and social distancing? And I think it's really clear that there is a big economic impact, especially if you are, your job is on the line, you've lost your job. But what we've learned is that it's better to be pretty disciplined about this for a short and intense period of time in the context of our lives or a year, versus having to kind of not do it fully and then keep on coming back to the well, even though we likely will have to learn how to do this in subsequent waves of the illness over time.